As Chancellor of the University, I declare this congregation open for the conferring of degrees by the authority of the Senate and the Council.
As Vice-Chancellor of the University of Leicester, I'm delighted to welcome you to this degree congregation, whether you are a graduand, friends of graduands, relatives, sponsors, visitors and other guests. It's good to have you in the university this afternoon. Degree ceremonies are unique occasions. They are celebrations that last in the memory, and we certainly hope that this occasion this afternoon will last in your memory for many years. Because degree congregations are the product of hard work. They're also, though, the product of lots of fun. The kinds of people you meet while you're at university, the kinds of situations that you get into, the kinds of transferable skills that are outside the academic curriculum that you acquire. Certainly, degree ceremonies also celebrate innovation, innovations that come through academic study, achievements that are yours, and achievements that celebrate your academic status in gaining a degree from a leading British university. For many of you, your first encounter with the University of Leicester was when you read a university's prospectus several years ago. Is it that you are in the same university now as the one you read about on paper? My view is that over the time you have been here, you have helped to enhance the quality of the university. So what kind of university are you graduating from today? The University of Leicester has 17,000 students. Of those students, approximately 10% come from overseas. The quality of the university is research-led. That is, intellectual excitement and scholarship drives everything that we do. The intellectual life shapes the work of academic staff and indeed determines the shape and substance of disciplines. And it's within those disciplines that leading-edge research is transmitted in the teaching process, whether that teaching takes place face-to-face on campus or whether it's through packages that arrive through the mail to you through distance learning or web-based learning that occurs in some of your degree courses. Certainly, leading-edge teaching links with leading-edge research, and I'm delighted that in the last 2 years, every department whose teaching has been evaluated in this university has achieved a score of excellent. Similarly, if one looks at the composition of the student body, one finds that this degree congregation is in microcosm representative of the university. What we find is that undergraduate and postgraduate students are roughly equally matched in this university, so that equal numbers occur in both those areas. But then in the faculty that is graduating this afternoon, we find that Leicester social science has direct relevance to public life locally, nationally and internationally. It is vital that research in the social sciences should inform public policy and public life. If I look at fields like management science, if I look at social work and the way in which the university trains large numbers of people who become social work professionals, human resource management and the way in which that links with professional occupations and professional careers. It is in these ways, and I could go on giving many illustrations, but in these ways the university is able to demonstrate that the work in its social science faculty is leading edge and contributes to the training of many people working in industry, commerce, and a whole range of other occupations. It also demonstrates in the social sciences that we actually are engaged in different kinds of teaching at undergraduate level, postgraduate degrees, and also distance learning. Indeed, one of the things it illustrates is that the University of Leicester offers a range of qualifications. From that point of view, please don't think of today as the end of your relationship with the university. Think of it as marking the beginning. There are many opportunities whereby you can continue to study with us for a whole range of qualifications. Indeed, we in the university are eager to embrace the concept of lifelong learning, so much so that during the course of this academic year, we have developed an Institute of Lifelong Learning in order to engage with professional training and other elements of short course work. But in turn, we have also developed a university-wide graduate school, highlighting the importance of graduate education as a natural step in the development of graduates, and in turn, how that can link with vocational purposes, how academic study and research has direct relevance for the jobs that people do. But your opportunities to stay in touch with the university does not just come through further study. There are also opportunities that arise through your association with our alumni, because you are automatically members of the Leicester Graduates Association. And from that point of view, I shall look forward to seeing you over the years, maintaining your links with the university and with departments through our Alumni Association. But today is special. Today is a celebration. It celebrates your success, but it also celebrates the success of your teachers, your families, your sponsors, who have in fact engaged with you and supported you along the way to this particular degree ceremony. What we've been doing in the various degree ceremonies so far is in fact to demonstrate how we appreciate the support that you have all had from the people who've come to watch you graduate this afternoon. Indeed, it's turned out to be a little bit of a competition. How good is the Faculty of Arts at their applause? Can we in the social sciences applaud more vigorously, more loudly and longer than the other faculties? I care to think that social science won't let us down this afternoon, but I just want to make absolutely certain. So we'll start with a little bit of practice where let's applaud all those people who've supported you, sponsors, relatives, friends, family, teachers and others. Let's give them a round of applause. One of the things that the class of 2000 is very good at is high achievement. And I'm sure that during the afternoon you're going to show that in celebrating you set very high standards. Indeed, if we look at the class of 2000, we find that this year just over 3,000 people are graduating with us. Of those 3,000, around 2,000 students have taken a classified first degree, and of the 2,000, 1,200 have obtained first and upper second class honours degrees, thus taking the standards in the University of Leicester ever higher. And indeed, it is a great pleasure to see how well the class of 2000 has in fact reached and in terms of levels of achievement. In that sense, I hope you have a splendid afternoon. I hope you enjoy the ceremony very much. I certainly hope to hear you applaud loudly and clearly in respect of each of your fellow graduates. And in turn, it just remains for me to wish you every success in your future careers.
It is my privilege to introduce Sir Herman Ouseley to this degree congregation. Herman Ouseley was born in Guyana and spent the first 12 years of his life there. His father had died while Herman was a boy, and he came to England in 1957 with his mother, a trained nurse who was recruited to work in the National Health Service. He left school after taking his A-levels and entered local government as a junior clerk. His early years in town planning caused him to think about the way organizations work and the capacity of bureaucracy to remove the human dimension to decision-making. His own preference for working with people rather than systems led him into more community-oriented work. His identification with race relations began to take off in the early 80s when he became Principal Race Relations Advisor to the Greater London Council. Over a 2-year period, he achieved an increase in the number of black and ethnic minority employees in the workforce from 8% to 24%. This was followed by 2 years as an Assistant Chief Executive of Lambeth Borough Council with special responsibility for community affairs. He worked on developing a strategy for community involvement and participation. Next came 4 years working for the Inner London Authority, first as Director of Education and subsequently as its Chief Executive. He then took on the task of being Chief Executive of Lambeth Borough Council. This involved facing up to a political administration in turmoil. It was a real challenge to his abilities to manage change successfully. He was persuaded to allow his name to be put forward for the post of Executive Chairman and Chief Executive of the Commission for Racial Equality, and he was genuinely surprised when the Home Secretary of the day, Kenneth Clarke, offered him the post. He accepted. Some skeptics noted the organizations he had worked for, which had ceased to exist, and wondered none too quietly whether his role would be to wind up the CRE. He wound it up in a rather different way than those skeptics had conceived. He and his colleagues worked to refocus the CRE's priorities and to develop its capacity to deliver change in partnership with institutions large and small, both public and private. A number of major initiatives were launched under Sir Herman's stewardship. He established the Leadership Challenge, backed by the Prime Minister, Home Secretary and Chancellor of the Exchequer, which brought together nearly 300 leaders across all sectors of society to make personal commitments to action for racial equality. He set up the Let's Kick Racism Out of Football campaign, now known as Kick It Out, which was supported by initiatives in other sports. He secured a cross-party consensus involving 5 British parliamentary leaders in a joint committee to take action against candidates or members acting in a way likely to stir up racial prejudice. He concluded an equal opportunities partnership with the Ministry of Defence and the Armed Forces following the CRE formal investigation of discrimination in the Army's household cavalry. Central to Sir Herman's beliefs is the securing of organisational change and seeking to persuade leaders of organisations to understand that an admission of institutional racism is not an admission that all working in that organisation are racists, but an admission that organisations have customs and practices which systematically reflect and produce inequalities. The institution will be racist whether or not the individuals in that organisation have racial intentions. 2 days after Sir Herman took up office, Stephen Lawrence was murdered on the streets of London. The aftermath of that terrible crime was a constant backdrop to Sir Herman's period of office. The Commission for Racial Equality presented uncompromising evidence to the Macpherson inquiry. Sir Herman is optimistic that the outcome of that inquiry will achieve so much more than the outcome of the Scarman inquiry in 1981 into the Brixton riots. One hopeful sign is that the new Metropolitan Police Commissioner, Sir John Stevens, a Leicester law graduate to whom we awarded an honorary doctorate of laws yesterday, has appointed Sir Herman as a special advisor on race relations to the Metropolitan Police Service. However, Sir Herman would not wish us to think that it is only organisations like the police which suffer from the evil of institutional racism. We all need to think about the way in which our organisations work and commit ourselves to genuine equality of opportunity for all. Equality does not subordinate diversity, but recognises and accommodates it. Sir Herman says that this is about making all organisations more effective, responsive, and relevant to people's needs. Sir Herman was knighted in 1997 for services to local government and to race relations. In January 2000, he moved on from the CRE. He is now the managing director of the Different Realities Partnership, a management consultancy specialising in organisational change with a focus on equality of treatment. Our honorand is widely recognised as a leading voice in the campaign for equality, fair treatment and diversity. And we today recognise a lifetime of service to those essential qualities in a fair society and pledge this university's commitment to them. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present to you Herman George Ouseley, that you may confer upon him the Honorary Degree of Doctor of Laws.
I think you can do the Doctor of Law.
Thank you all very much. Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests, fellow graduates, staff, parents and friends. Good afternoon and thank you for your support. It's a great delight to me to accept this great honour in this great city from the University of Leicester. It's a special day, not only for me, but for all the graduates here present, and indeed for your families and your friends. It's a particularly difficult time for young people, and I know not all of you would necessarily say that you are what's described as young people. We have many mature, successful graduates here today. But it is a particularly difficult time in our society for young people. They're under the spotlight again. In Parliament, for instance, we have the Football Disorder Bill, which suggests that all our young men behave badly and must be prevented from travelling abroad at certain times when certain sporting occasions are occurring abroad. And indeed, we've seen only 2 days ago the publication of statistics that show rising violent crime in our society, largely associated with young men, young people. So it is important that we recognise the many achievements that our young people and our young men in particular, I'm not in any way forgetting our young women, but the issues I talked about in the negativity are more associated with young men. But today is a day of achievements and celebrations, and my personal congratulations go out to each and every one of you and to your families and friends who've given support to you. I also extend a warm word of praise, or several words for that matter, to all those involved in the education system, not only here, but all our teachers, lecturers, and other staff who are very professional, committed, and dedicated to students' success and to excellence in the education system as a whole. I'd like to pay particular warm congratulations to Honorary Ouseley, Professor in the Department of Education, who has worked with us at the Commission for Racial Equality, who only yesterday was involved in the publication of Inspecting Schools for Racial Equality, looking at the Ofsted performance with regards to their responsibilities on racial equality in education. I'd also like to thank Professor Robin White for not embarrassing me too much while I was standing there, almost waiting to pass out. I think that in itself deserves an honorary degree, but I won't ask for another one. As you go forward to meet your future challenges, I hope that the solid experiences of studying and learning in the culturally and ethnically diverse environment of this university and in this city will enable you to make your personal contribution to the development of a more just and a more fair and tolerant society for everyone. We're all different, each and every one of us, from each other. In our personal characteristics, our race, our ethnicity, our size, our gender, ability, appearance, our religion and belief, language, lifestyle, culture, and status. But we do share the same growing pains, and it's our humanity that binds us together universally. We may not be equals, but everyone should be treated equitably and fairly. We're equals at birth, though, when we arrive in this world free from prejudice. How do we become prejudiced? It's a very important question that we can all ask ourselves. Is it not the very same people who educate us, who brought us up, who surround us, our families, our friends, education, and someone else not here today, I think, the media? So it's people around us who influence our lives and make us what we are. We all have prejudices of varying levels, but we can, through knowledge, information, and understanding, be better equipped to be tolerant and respectful of people who are different from ourselves. Formal education, public education, and continuous education through lifelong learning can and must provide us with the information, teaching, learning, and understanding to help us create a more just and a fair society for everyone. Each and every one of us must accept our personal responsibility through our actions to make this a reality. We all benefit from valuing, appreciating, and respecting our fellow citizens. We are what we are, you are what you are, I am what I am. Once again, I thank you very much for this honour, which I shall cherish forever. I congratulate all the graduates on their achievements and wish you all well in your future endeavours. Thank you very much.
The graduands in the Faculty of the Social Sciences will be presented by the Dean, Dr. Negreen. Will all graduands in the faculty please stand?
Mr. Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from the Faculty of the Social Sciences to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Graduates of the Faculty of Social Sciences, by the authority of the Senate, I admit you to the several degrees for which you are presented.
For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Mohammed Al-Sudairi. Ashley Carreras. Dilek Demirbas. Maryam Fethi. Abigail Gilmore. Ken Green. Silencer Mapuranga. For the degree of Master of Arts in Criminology, Natalie McKee. For the degree of Master of Art in International Business Analysis, University College, Northampton, Anne-Laura Bougond.
It's a long degree, is that
Paula Lopez.
Congratulations.
Viresh Mistry.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Art in Social Work, Andrew Addis.
Congratulations.
Joanne Bodkin.
Congratulations.
Matthew Canty.
Congratulations.
Leslie Ann Cooper.
Congratulations.
Lisa Cooper.
Congratulations.
Eamon Downs.
Congratulations.
Becky Etzer.
Congratulations.
Lisa Evans.
Congratulations.
Andrea Goldby.
Congratulations.
Leslie Grattan.
Congratulations.
Paul Hackett.
Congratulations.
Alison Hand.
Congratulations.
Elizabeth Hardy.
Congratulations.
Stacey Hills.
Congratulations.
Linda King.
Congratulations.
Gail Lynch.
Congratulations.
Lindsay Richardson.
Congratulations.
Richard Rudd.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Gusharan Sandhu.
Congratulations. Well done indeed.
Sukhwinder Singh.
You're very popular.
Margaret Weller.
Congratulations.
Alison Whelan.
Congratulations.
Tracy Woodhouse.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Arts in Sociology of Sport, Daniel Birdsey.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Mohammed Baig.
Congratulations.
Vinseri Bartley.
Congratulations.
Mu Chen Chang.
Congratulations.
Chin Pang Chen.
Congratulations.
Jing Zhen Chen.
Congratulations.
Ching Chiang.
Congratulations.
Chin Zhen Chu.
Congratulations. Well done.
Wandi Chokdum Rongsok.
Congratulations.
Jan Christensen.
Congratulations.
Stephen Clarkson.
Congratulations.
Martin Cox.
Congratulations.
Alf Crutchley.
Congratulations.
Sari Dewey.
Congratulations.
Nabil El Assad.
Congratulations.
Meng Fu.
Congratulations.
Kazumi Fujikawa.
Congratulations.
Yair Ganor.
Congratulations.
Nathan Gopi.
Congratulations.
Amita Gurong.
Congratulations.
Morris Hall.
Congratulations.
Izumi Hamada,
Congratulations.
Malcolm Harbron,
Congratulations.
Mark Hon,
Congratulations.
Yu Fen Su,
Congratulations.
Zai Li Huang,
Congratulations.
Ling Zhen Huang,
Congratulations.
Peter Hull,
Congratulations.
Carol Jan,
Congratulations.
Donna Kong,
Congratulations.
Charlene Kosky,
Congratulations.
Chi Lai,
Congratulations.
David Lai,
Congratulations.
Shwet Ying Lam,
Congratulations.
Chai Lee,
Congratulations.
Anhua Liao,
Congratulations.
Cornelius Lillis,
Congratulations.
Paul Lim,
Congratulations.
Chia Chin Lin,
Congratulations.
Lai Jing Lin,
Congratulations.
Lani Listiawati,
Congratulations.
Toshi Miura,
Congratulations.
Wayne Mooney,
Congratulations.
Nazmi Mukhtar,
Congratulations.
Mariko Nagahame,
Congratulations.
Wei Neng,
Congratulations. Well done.
Yoshihisha Niwata,
Congratulations. Well done.
Helen Oakley,
Congratulations.
Ryuji Osaka,
Congratulations.
Charles Oskwarek,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Albert Quigley,
Congratulations.
David Rayburn,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Lisa Rayton,
Congratulations.
Paul Redmond,
Congratulations. Well done.
Shunchuki Shibata,
Congratulations. Well done.
Shu Sun,
Congratulations.
Chun Tai,
Congratulations. Well done.
Cheng Tsai,
Congratulations.
Wang Hong Juan,
Congratulations. Okay.
Mei Wang,
Congratulations.
Teresa Wang,
Congratulations.
Yu Wen,
Congratulations.
Lan Qing Zhu,
Congratulations. Well done.
Yutaka Yusanami,
Congratulations.
Sun Zhu,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Master of Business Administration, Employment Relations, Darren Dowdall,
Congratulations. Okay.
for the degree of Master of Business Administration, Finance, Samira Alavi,
Congratulations. Bravo.
Navmi Balgobin,
Congratulations.
Fatumata Bware,
Congratulations.
Dawn Carter,
Congratulations.
Amadaku,
Congratulations.
Arnold Fan,
Congratulations.
Adnan Fassi,
Congratulations.
Shu Fu,
Congratulations.
Yazad Gandhi,
There are a lot of friends here.
Hani Kashef,
Congratulations.
Augustine Karang,
Congratulations.
Stephen Kaportsi,
Congratulations.
Chung Lei,
Congratulations.
Su Xia Li,
Congratulations.
Lei Li,
Congratulations.
Wiranto Liao,
Congratulations.
Sim Lo,
Congratulations.
Joan Millington,
Congratulations. Well done.
Harriet Namukwaya,
Congratulations.
Paul Osei Kufuor,
Congratulations.
Rajesh Singh,
Congratulations.
Raman Talwar,
Congratulations. Well done.
for the degree of Master of Business Administration, International University College Northampton, Leila Benjaloon,
Congratulations. Well done.
Leila Hajsialik,
Congratulations.
Amna Valjevak,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Master of Business Administration, Maritime Management, George Athanasopoulos,
Congratulations.
Dimitrios Papachристopoulos,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Master of Business Administration, Marketing, Emmanuel Agios,
Congratulations. Well done.
Hario Bascoro,
Congratulations.
David Bryant,
Well done.
Fu Chen,
Congratulations.
Clarence Chia,
Congratulations.
Ananya Dasgupta,
Congratulations. Well done.
Carmel Dessau,
Congratulations.
Bijou George,
Congratulations.
Anthony Godfrey,
Congratulations.
Chi Ho,
Congratulations. Well done.
Paul Shan Huang,
Congratulations.
Shiny Huang,
Congratulations.
Lilia Lee,
Congratulations.
Lewis Lee,
Congratulations. Well done.
Chun Lin,
Congratulations.
Mai Lin,
Congratulations.
Yi Ling Ma,
Congratulations.
Kirsi Masikamaki,
Congratulations.
Ryoji Nakanishi,
Congratulations.
Arman Okasha,
Congratulations.
Tony Pei,
Congratulations.
Jamie Pan,
Congratulations.
Gillian Quashie,
Congratulations.
Chris Tang,
Congratulations.
Ming Tsei,
Congratulations.
Philip Tseng,
Congratulations. Well done.
Anita Vell,
Congratulations.
Xiang Wang,
Congratulations.
Susanna Wong,
Congratulations.
Sao Wong,
Congratulations.
Yuan Wu,
Congratulations.
Tae Yu,
Congratulations.
Tai Zhu.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Supply Chain Management, Alison Bowie,
Congratulations.
Mugisa Kanagwa,
Congratulations.
Charles Chorert,
Congratulations.
Bernard Moshe, for the degree of Master of Business Administration, University College Northampton, Paul Bedborough, Mark Brown, John Cahill, Thomas Cahill, Nicholas Cant, Michael Cheese, Catherine Chisholm, Hamdeh Davey, Mark Davis, Dawn Dinsdale, Alvin Ernest, William Gallagher, Anne Gross, Dawn Harris, June Hartley, David Higgins, Herminia Lee, George McBlain, Hitesh Patel, Bromley Penny, Keith Rice, Chris Sampson, Adrian Sinclair, Andrew Smith, Sarah Spence, Ronald Vass, Sukhdev Walia, David Williams, Vice-Chancellor. For the degree of Master of Science in Criminal Justice and Police Management, Alice Kagunda. Ahmed Kamara. For the degree of Master of Science in Criminal Justice Studies, John Byrne. Michelle Dyer. Peter Herriot. Anthony Nolan. For the degree of Master of Science in Finance, Byron Baldwin. Munira Baskaya. Rabia Leek. Ket Liu. Lekra Singh Marichili. Sarita Patel. Paul Pearson.
Congratulations.
Jerry Pierre.
Congratulations.
Matthew Reeves.
Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Paul Simmons.
Congratulations. Thank you.
For the degree of Master of Science in Risk, Crisis and Disaster Management, Justin Cunningham.
Congratulations.
Glyn Laverack.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Stephen Overfield.
Congratulations.
Mary Awar.
Congratulations.
Jeremy Smith.
Congratulations.
David Snyder.
Congratulations.
Michael Storia.
Congratulations.
Paul Woods.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Crime Risk Management, Stephen Clements.
Congratulations.
James Green.
Congratulations.
David Orr.
Well done. Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Sociology of Sport, Alexander Collins.
Well done. Congratulations.
Lou Gittins.
Congratulations.
Lindsay McPhee.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Sociology of Sports and Sports Management, Marion Brown.
Well done. Congratulations.
Florenza David.
Congratulations.
Shu Lee.
Congratulations.
Nigel McLaughlin.
Congratulations.
Christopher Waite.
Congratulations.
Andrew Webb.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Sociology of Sport, Physical Education, Emma Cleary.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in the Study of Security Management, Clive Beckett.
Congratulations.
Gary Griffiths.
Well done. Congratulations.
Michael Jemison.
Congratulations.
Alan McLachlan.
Congratulations.
Nigel Oswin.
Well done. Congratulations.
Terence Rigglesford.
Congratulations.
Neil Taylor.
Congratulations.
John Travers.
Well done. Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Training, Helen Exton.
Congratulations.
James Feely.
Congratulations very much.
Anne Horsnell.
Congratulations.
Kenneth Lay.
Well done. Congratulations.
Chi Lee.
Congratulations.
Anthony Manning.
Congratulations.
Joanne Noblet.
Congratulations.
Valerie Townend.
Congratulations.
Lai Wee.
Well done. Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Training and Human Resource Management, Rosnaya Abdul Karim.
Congratulations.
Anne Barnett.
Congratulations.
Dermot Burke.
Congratulations.
Catherine Byrne.
Well done. Congratulations.
Siobhan Byrne.
Congratulations.
Charles Chan.
Congratulations.
Chim Cheng Lee.
Congratulations.
Wing Chui.
Congratulations.
Alan Cooley,
Congratulations.
Prakash Das,
Well done. Congratulations.
David Devarulia,
Congratulations.
Vivienne Dixon,
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Well done.
Joe Donovan,
Congratulations.
Brainy Fanning,
Congratulations.
Yvonne Farrell,
Congratulations.
Sunita Grigg,
Congratulations. Well done.
Lizzie Ho,
Congratulations.
Christopher Lawrence,
Congratulations.
Angeline Lee,
Congratulations.
Shabuddin Mode,
Congratulations.
Chelsea All,
Well done.
Gary Owen,
Congratulations. You've got the home team in.
Alex Payne,
Congratulations.
Catherine Rocket,
Congratulations.
Thanarajulu Naidu,
Congratulations.
Stephen Walsh,
Congratulations. You're fine.
Judy Wong,
Congratulations.
Michael Worrell,
Congratulations.
Jessica Young,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economics, Ian Astin,
Congratulations.
Paul Brown,
Congratulations.
Stuart Christie,
Congratulations.
Mark Chilinsky,
Congratulations.
Tim Feddy,
Congratulations.
Simon Heather,
Congratulations.
Stuart Hollingsworth,
Congratulations.
Colin Lee,
Well done.
Eric Lee,
Congratulations.
Alan Marshall,
Congratulations.
Ulufalaki Ugunlezi,
Congratulations. Ah, you've got a home team here.
Damien Serra,
Congratulations.
James Stokes,
Congratulations.
Jitin Vaita,
Congratulations.
Richard Webber,
Congratulations.
Simon Winkworth,
Congratulations.
John Woolnough,
Congratulations.
Adam Wright,
Congratulations.
Emma Yates,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economics with a year in Europe, Darren O'Shaughnessy,
Congratulations.
Amanda Statham,
Congratulations.
Gavin White,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Business Economics, Angus Allison,
Congratulations.
Jen Shai Ang,
Congratulations.
Axel Owley,
Congratulations.
Emily Austin,
Congratulations.
Arminda Bahaya,
Congratulations.
William Blythe,
Congratulations.
Adam Boot,
Congratulations.
Timothy Bramage,
Congratulations.
Christopher Barrow,
Congratulations.
Fang Cao,
Congratulations.
Shu Mai Chong,
Congratulations.
Matthew Constantine,
Congratulations.
Keith de Alwis,
Congratulations.
Mark Elder,
Congratulations, Claire.
Claire Faulkner,
Congratulations.
Robin Firth,
Congratulations.
Daniel Francis,
Congratulations.
Ben Franklin,
Congratulations.
Hong Xiang Go,
Congratulations.
Stuart Harper,
Congratulations.
Stephen Harrison,
Congratulations.
James Heald,
Congratulations.
Louise Hosey Kingan,
Well done. Congratulations.
Peter Hughes,
Congratulations.
Hugh Fei Hugh,
Congratulations.
Swee Fung Hugh,
Well done. Congratulations.
Andrew Jenkins,
Congratulations.
Amit Joban Putra,
Congratulations.
David Jones,
Congratulations.
Salima Kassam,
Well done. Congratulations.
Tim Keach,
Congratulations.
Baljit Kumar,
Congratulations.
Navin Kumar,
Well done. Congratulations.
Rajesh Kumar,
Congratulations.
Ching Lei Kwan,
Well done. Congratulations.
Elizabeth Lim,
Congratulations.
Christopher Loring,
Congratulations.
Martin Lilac,
Well done. Congratulations.
Alison Ma,
Congratulations.
Christopher Marie,
Congratulations.
Stephen McHenry,
Congratulations.
Hua Fung Mai,
Congratulations.
Chad Murphy,
Well done. Congratulations.
Paul Neary,
Congratulations.
Wang Tik Ng,
Congratulations.
Suzanne Oddy,
Congratulations.
Theodora Omang,
Congratulations.
Wai Kit Ong,
Congratulations.
Samuel Osborne,
Congratulations.
Bolahan Osinowo,
Good round of applause. Congratulations.
Imran Qureshi,
Congratulations.
Nazir Rafiq,
Congratulations.
James Ramsden,
Congratulations.
Chris Rand,
Congratulations.
Thomas Rees,
Congratulations.
David Rogers,
Congratulations.
James Scott,
Congratulations.
David Slapak,
Congratulations.
Natalie Stevens,
Congratulations.
Katie Tompkinson,
Congratulations.
Carl Walsh,
Congratulations.
Andrew Waterson,
Congratulations.
Carolyn Wild,
Congratulations.
Claire Williams,
Well done. Congratulations.
Kai Ki Wong,
Congratulations.
Pao Leong Yap.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Economic History, Colin Ball.
Congratulations.
Anjula Chelvaraj,
Congratulations.
Harjit Johal,
Congratulations.
Christian Kroon,
Congratulations.
Matthew Thorpe,
Congratulations.
George Waite.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Economic History with the year in Europe, Mark Billings.
Long degree time. Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Law, Tom Avison.
Congratulations.
Awang Mohammed Awang Buhari.
Congratulations.
Jessica Brown.
Congratulations.
Michael Butcher.
Congratulations.
James Dickens.
Congratulations.
Laura Furness.
Congratulations.
James Hunt.
Congratulations.
Simon Ip.
Congratulations.
Joanne Mangan.
Congratulations.
Sarah Jane Marmion.
Congratulations.
Cheryl Morris.
Congratulations.
Alexandra Nichols.
Congratulations.
Maybob Parker.
Congratulations.
Huma Rathor.
Congratulations.
Kate Roberts.
Congratulations.
Neil Shaw.
Congratulations.
Kelly Smith.
Congratulations.
Peter Wilding.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Law with a year in Europe, Kate Wilcock.
Congratulations. A long degree time.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science Economics, Matthew Fryer.
Congratulations.
Simon Gill.
Congratulations.
Se Young Ip.
Congratulations.
John Mason.
Congratulations.
Akira Takasa.
Congratulations.
Jeffrey Tam.
Congratulations.
Daniel Tay.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Economics, Olufayotomi Adesemowa.
Congratulations.
Emma Chambers.
Congratulations.
Kenneth Cheng.
Congratulations.
James Cross.
Congratulations.
Jonathan Grime.
Congratulations.
Tasnim Karatella.
Congratulations.
Amina Kenku.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Peter Killer.
Congratulations.
Karloon Lam.
Congratulations.
Sarah Mata.
Congratulations.
Claire Miller.
Congratulations.
Neil Parker.
Congratulations.
Rupesh Shah.
Congratulations.
James Tan.
Congratulations.
Sung Wei Tsai,
Congratulations.
Andrew Williams,
Congratulations.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit to the several degrees for which they are presented by my faculty those candidates who are absent.
By the authority of the Senate, I admit those candidates who are absent to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Let me begin by congratulating our honorary graduate. His presence here today emphasizes the continuity of learning. The fact that what you learn at university is just the first step on a long process in life where you put to use in one way or another all that you've learned. Our honorary graduates provide role models to which you can aspire. I'm sure that several decades from now, some of the younger members of the audience will be back in a more senior capacity. But this graduation is primarily for the benefit of the junior members who have worked hard to earn their degrees. For you, this is a great occasion, but one for us all to celebrate. I know many of you have relatives and friends here to support you, and you've heard much support this afternoon. And they also deserve congratulations for your success. And finally, we should not forget your teachers, many of whom are also here, since they will be delighted their efforts have been successful in seeing you through to your graduation. In welcoming you all, let me give a special welcome to those of you, and I know there are many here this afternoon, who have come from abroad, perhaps visiting Leicester for the first time. We are very pleased that you've made the effort to come, and we hope that you've enjoyed the occasion. We all know that we are living in an era of rapid change. The world scene has been radically transformed in the past decades. The great military and political divide, symbolized by the Berlin Wall, has gone. We live in a world which, while not exactly at peace, is no longer under the permanent threat of instant annihilation. Democracies are, on the whole, replacing dictatorships, and new parts of the world are developing into advanced economies. The scientific technological revolution is having a profound impact in a way which is only just being glimpsed. Young people graduating today will live in a quite different environment from their parents and grandparents. It is a more interesting but more complicated world. One can perhaps draw an analogy here between the scientific and political spheres, and of course there is a link between the two. The modern scientific era began with the Newtonian view of the universe as governed by simple laws which in principle enable one to predict the future in a methodical way. In the 20th century, this view was transformed by things like quantum mechanics with its famous uncertainty principle and the theory of chaos, which shows that Newtonian prediction does not always apply in complex situations. Similarly, in the political world, the ideas of a simple, rational world run on utopian lines involving planned economies has been replaced by a more complex and diverse picture of reality. These great political and economic changes have had a major impact on the importance of education. We hear everywhere about the knowledge-based economy, where the secret of success lies not in raw materials or large factories, but in the trained intellectual resources of the country. So, around the world, the demand for education, particularly higher education, has grown enormously. We see this here in Leicester, where the university has continued to expand at a rapid rate. And while this is necessary and welcome, it does have a few practical drawbacks, one of which is that the Chancellor has had to enlist the assistance of the Vice-Chancellor in the handshaking of the ceremony. But let me assure all of you that your degree retains its full value, whoever shakes your hand. But what effect do all these changes in the outside world have on the individual student who is graduating here today? In former times, when society was more rigidly organized, the individual had little choice. The son followed in the father's occupation, and of course the daughter had even less choice. The future was predictable, but usually bleak. Now the situation is totally reversed. Barriers are broken down, there's a great deal of choice, which itself makes for difficulties, and there are vast opportunities. In return, we have more uncertainty. The future is less predictable, but at least we have hope. So, for the individual, education has broadly three roles. In the first place, it is the gateway to opportunity. Without a good education, you would have much less choice of possible avenues for the future. The training that universities provide is your entree to the modern world. But democratic societies require more than just a trained workforce. They require educated citizens who can make critical and informed judgments. In a world obsessed by publicity and propaganda, it is hard to distill the truth from the welter of pseudo-information which floods around us. A sound democracy can only flourish if its citizens can think clearly for themselves, not become passive absorbers of what the media, the government, and industry dish out for us. Finally, education should open the door to personal and intellectual fulfillment. We must not only think, but we must enjoy thinking. Universities are there to introduce us to the great thoughts and creations of the past, to enable us to participate in the culture of the present, and to help to pass it on to the next generation. The University of Leicester is proud of its contribution to your education and hopes that you will leave here with happy memories. We would like to keep in touch with you in the future, and since education is now a lifelong process, as the Vice-Chancellor said, and as the presence here today of many mature students illustrates, you may return here sometime in the future. You may also send your children, your students, or your friends here for their education. It remains for me to give you my best wishes for the future and to hope that you'll have a good celebration with your relatives and friends the rest of today. Thank you. I now declare this congregation closed.
Thank you.